Okay, Philippians, welcome back to another tutorial. Okay, so this video is going to be all about how to export your video from Premiere and then how to upload it to the YouTube and add any appropriate annotations or titles or stuff like that. Okay, cool. So we have our video here. This is the Phillipian 2014 trip to NYC, and it's actually not done being edited yet, but it's in progress, and I'm just going to show you guys kind of how you want to export. So first thing you want to do on your video is you want to set up your workspace. And so you might notice this little handle up here, and that's the workspace of your composition. So if we set this workspace, and I'll use the shortcut Alt close bracket to set the out point, or Alt in bracket to set the in point on that workspace. Option if you're on a Mac. Then you can set the workspace on your comp. And so if you have your workspace set and then you press enter, what that does is it'll render that workspace. So instead of having a red line here where it's not rendered, it'll have a green line where it is rendered, and then your computer will have a much easier time playing that back in real time as opposed to these areas which are unrendered. Okay, and if you don't have that bar, it looks a little bit something like this. All you have to do is come over to this little menu item right over here and say show work area bar. And then that bar will show up, and then you can move it around, you can set your endpoints and all that, and you can move your endpoints manually like this. Okay, but the whole point of that is that we want to set our work area to the length of our project. And so our project goes along, we have the song which is playing with it down here, we have the song, okay, goes along. You can see I'm not quite done editing it yet, but let's say it comes down here to the end. You can use the up and down arrows on your keyboard to scroll between the in and out points of clips like you see I'm doing now. That's the up and down arrows. And we'll come down here right to the end point here. Okay. And then we'll do Alt close bracket, and then we have our work area as the entire length of the comp that we want to render. Or I guess you'd call this a sequence since we're in Premiere. So now we have the comp like that. What we're going to do is come up here to File, Export, Media, or you can do Control M. Okay, the very first thing you want to do when you get into your export settings or your render settings is adjust your format. So let's go into our format settings here, and you can see there's a ton of options, everything from a QuickTime movie or even a GIF or GIF, however you like to pronounce it. But the thing that we always want to use is H.264. That's a very specific render setting, and it's uniform among a lot of video production. Although it has a weird name, that's what we want to use, H.264. And so I've created a preset called Phillipian Fast, but there are a bunch of different ways that you can do this. The first thing you want to do is set an output name. So this is the NYC Flip Trip 2014. Your name might be something a little different, so change it so that it's something that you can recognize. And then I typically export to my desktop because it's easy, and then I can move it to where I want to keep it. Okay, and so make sure you have export video and audio. That's an easy one. And then just hop down in here into the video tab. The video tab's the only one you really have to worry about. So with this, you just want to make sure that your video settings are all fine. They will be as long as you haven't actively changed anything. Render at maximum depth. This is something that for our purposes you want to leave unchecked because it significantly increases how long encoding takes, as you can see in the description there. And it doesn't really add enough quality to our videos to justify that time difference. Okay, and so then we're going to come down here to your bitrate settings. This is what's going to affect the size of your composition as well as how long it takes to render the most. If it was a perfect world, we had faster machines and we could have a little bit more time to get things up, I would say variable bitrate 2 pass is the best thing you want to use with a target bitrate of about 12. And then a maximum bitrate of about 14, just a little bit higher. That'd be if we had perfect conditions. Since things are slow and we need things done quickly, I'm going to go down to variable bitrate 1 pass. That means it'll only encode it once as opposed to going through it twice. So already we cut that time in half. And then you can see the estimated file size right now is 220 megabytes. If we drop this encoding bitrate down to 7 bits per second and then maybe 8 as our max, we drop it down to 134, which is just over half of what we had previously. So that's how we can really save speed and space when we're doing things quickly. Okay, but now that this is all set up, we're all set to go. And so this is where you can see your preview here. And so our preview, we can go through, we can see everything we've done, and you want to make sure that your source range is selected to our work area, because that's what we set as our the length of the area that we want to render. If we do sequence in and out, that'll do a bunch of stuff that we might not like, or entire sequence, same thing. So that's why we use the work area. Okay, so now that we're about to render, if you scroll back up to the top, you can see that it says Preset Custom. If you'd like to save this as a preset so that you can do it quickly and you don't have to adjust it every time, what I might suggest you do is you go over here to Save Preset, click that, you can name the preset whatever you like, and then you can just press OK, and then that'll always be there. Then you can jump down into your presets, and here's all of the presets that I have, as well as some that they provide with the program, and I can just jump down into Phillipian Fast, and then that'll render the same way every time. Okay. So now the next step depends on whether or not you have the Adobe Creative Suite or Adobe Media Encoder. And so if the only program you have really is Premiere, then what you're going to want to say is export. However, if you have the Adobe Creative Suite and you've downloaded Adobe Media Encoder, which I highly, highly suggest you do, then we can say add to queue, or this queue button here. So we'll say queue, and we'll prepare all of this. And then what you'll notice it'll be doing is it'll open up this. I didn't open this on my own. It opened it by itself. And so you can see that it's added this NYC flip trip into the queue already. And so it has the output file. This is where you can adjust your settings if we want to adjust those. And so we have our whole video set up here. So we'll cancel that, and this is where we can output it. And so now if we press the little green play button, it'll say, typically you won't get that error message, but that was just saying that there is non-supported material, which is okay for our purposes. And then that'll start to render. Perfect. So what this does is this enables you to render video. There's your little preview. This enables you to render video without closing down Premiere. So we're able to still go in here and we can continue editing or working on another project if we wanted to. And then we could always just go back here and see the progress here. It just gives us a lot more options and flexibility in our rendering process. Okay, so now that this is finished rendering, we can see that it's here. I changed the name to Full Edit of Phillipian Trip because it is one of the full edits. And so you can see that we have the whole video rendered out here. And so that all looks pretty good. And so the first thing we're going to do is jump over into whatever internet provider you use, and then we can just jump on over to YouTube. If you're going to be uploading videos regularly, you'll have access to the Phillipian YouTube channel. Okay, so now let's upload a video. We can scroll up here to upload, and then this icon will pop up. You can click there if you want to select the file manually, or since we already have it open, we can just drag it in. Okay, so now this is uploading. So the first thing you want to do after the video is uploading is figure out what kind of title you want to use. I'll probably give you a title that you should use, but in general, you just want to make it something that's short, interesting, and has as much information as possible. Full Edit of NYC Trip, of Phillipian NYC Trip, is probably not the best title for a video. Okay, next up is the description. So in the description, you'll want to do something like the Phillipian heads to NYC. And so that could be the first line, and then you might want to say, we visited ABC, CBS, TED, whatnot, and then we can show all of our information that way. The description doesn't have to be super in length, but it should be elegant. Okay, and so then we also have this show more feature. And so that's essentially just some text, which reminds users that they can click and see the full description. So say we go to any random video, say on the Phillipian channel, go to the most recent one uploaded, and you can see that this is even off right now. The show more should be at the bottom so that people are reminded that they can see the entire edit. What we'll do is, to correct that, we'll just move my email address up. Oops, that was too far. We'll take out a line here. And so we can move that up, and so this will work that way so that show more is at the bottom. Actually, typically I want to leave one line of space in between. So we'll take this line out, and we'll move that down So it takes a little bit of finesse, but once you get it, shoot for Phillipian video, show more. The user can just click, show more, and then we have the full description. Okay, very cool. So now we can head back over and we have our full description. There is an automatic upload settings for this so that this will always be here, and then we can adapt that as time goes on. And then you can upload your custom thumbnail as you showed you how to do in a previous video. One thing to note is that the video should always be uploaded under unlisted, not private, not public, because that enables you to share the video with other people, but only if they have the link. Whereas private, you have to specifically say who is able to view it. Unlisted, anybody with the link is able to view it. It's just not publicly out there. And then public is what we do at the end. And then we can add the video to a playlist if it's something that we want to do. This weekend at Andover we have a playlist for, and then the Phillipian training, which is a private playlist only for people who are going to be shooting for Phillipian video. Okay, but now let's head over to Annotations and see how we do that. Okay, so here we are on the main Phillipian channel page, and I just want to give you guys a little tour around. So on the main channel page, you can kind of see what it looks like for a semi-regular person. However, since we're the admin, we have all of these kind of extra features up here. But then if we wanted to view it as the public, we could with this button, so we can see what the public views when they come to our channel. So we can see now this is how the channel looks when people come to our channel, and you can see the video automatically starts playing, and then we have our playlist here. But we're done with that. We can go back to the administrator view. So the first thing I'd like to show you guys is the video manager. We can access the video manager from here, or you can always access it from this little gear and then drop down to video manager. And so in the video manager, we are able to see all of the videos that have been uploaded in chronological order, irrespective of if they're unlisted or if they're actually public. So these are training videos that are unlisted. Okay, but let's head into the most recent video we did, and let's add some annotations. So I just clicked on the regular video, and then we can jump down here to the bottom of the video and view the annotations. I'll mute this for right now, but we'll jump to the end because we know we have a title slide at the end with links. And we'll go to the beginning of that title slide. The beginning or just before. And I think this applause probably drones on for too long, but too late now. So 40 years of coeducation at Andover. We'll open up a new tab, and we'll go to the video manager. So we're looking for this video so we can add a link. Alright, we'll jump down to the Code at 40 video, copy the link in the URL, and then what we'll do is add an annotation, a spotlight, particularly a spotlight, no other one, and then we can add a link at the bottom. Control V to paste that link in, and then make sure the video starts at 0, and then always check open link in a new window so that they're not popped away from our video. So now you can see that we have this spotlight here. We can drag this to make it the right size. This other box in here is for text, so if we were to have text, that is there. We don't really need text because it's pretty self-explanatory. Now we want to do the John Gorton video. We can come over here, John Gorton, Runner with Passion. And we can do add annotation spotlight. We can adjust this size really quick. Link, new window. John Gorton, Runner with Passion. I think I already did that, but there we go. Okay, now the one thing to check is that our annotations are the proper length, and they are not, so we want to make them shorter so that they start right when this starts. You have to click on them to be able to adjust them, and then they go all the way to the end. But I think, oh, no, okay, so those go all the way to the end. One more that we want to add is a subscribe, so we'll do one more spotlight, bring this down. We can maybe bring this in a little bit, doesn't have to be too perfect. And then we can add a link. This is different. Instead of a video, we want to do subscribe, and then enter the username of the channel. The username of the Phillipian channel is actually Phillipian video. So you can just type Phillipian video, and then I like to preview this one because it's a little bit trickier, and it goes to the right place. So just make sure that that actually works before you put the video live. and then we'll adjust this really quick. And that should be done. So now we save and publish. So now this video has your proper annotations, and so we can go to the end of the video and we can see that all of the proper annotations are in their place and that the videos open up in new tabs. So there they are. You can see they showed up just a half second after, which is just fine. That goes to the proper one. It opened a new tab. This goes to the proper video, and then this goes to the Phillipian subscribe page. Okay, well that has been a tutorial on how to render, how to upload, and then how to add annotations. So I'll be looking for you guys to do that in the future. I'm Caston Day, and thanks for watching.